Sure.
What about the leg?
Don't worry about the leg. So hi, welcome to the very first attempted episode of Two Wheels and Tannerite. We're trying to reshoot the video that we previously saw. Let's see if this thing's still actually even shooting. Oh my gosh, oh look at that. Oh, this lighting is atrocious. What are you doing down there? Let's get you up here. Let's see if we can have a dignified conversation where you're not lying on the ground there. Hey, so welcome to Two Wheels and Tannerite. My name is Eric.
Hello.
I don't know if you can see my son. Come here. This is my son.
Hello.
He's my assistant. Okay, so welcome to Two Wheels and Tannerite. Pardon me while I pull up my hair. Okay, so I don't know how many edits are actually going to be in this. It occurred to me after eating a whole bunch of video the other day and trying a new camera that basically I need to shoot something, anything, to get it up so that people can actually see that I'm real and that I actually know what I'm talking about and that I'm actually producing content. So let's start with some simple basics. My name is Eric. I'm roughly a 30-year mechanic. I've also worked at some major motorcycle shops. I like coffee because coffee is important. Plus, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you know, it's kind of a mandatory thing, especially when it's raining. To quickly summarize what the channel is about, I will be going over all things two-wheeled related. I will also be going over some adventure stuff and gear stuff. And part of the reason why I decided to create this channel was because of the fact that I wanted to inspire my son, and I wanted to be able to inspire other people who either don't have a lot of money or want to learn how to be able to repair things on a world-class level. I used to wrench for a handful of manufacturers and a race team, and so I did a bunch of other stuff. My next video will actually go more in depth into all of that stuff on my history and why it is that you actually want to listen to me. But I quickly wanted to give you guys some information about what it is going to be covering and why some of these things are important. I see a lot of videos out on the internet that talk about how to build certain things, certain bicycles, how to do certain kinds of motorcycle repairs, how to prep certain things, but they never go into the why of it. And it really frustrates me that they never go into the nitty-gritty details, because a lot of times once you understand the principles behind the why, then you're able to take that information forward and apply it to other arenas of your life. And to me, that's really super important. So let's do a quick example of this. So one of the things that I will be covering are e-bikes. So I've worked for an e-bike manufacturer. This is one of the bikes that we produced, and I'm going to go over all the processes of how to repair these bikes. The other thing that I'm also super psyched to work on is I want to do a video series on how to do a world-class build of a bicycle. There's a lot of really cool videos out on YouTube that talk about, or that have these, you know, really cool montages of pro builds, but again, they never get down into the nitty-gritty and those fine little details as to why you do the things that you do and what the purposes of them are. So let me show you really quick the very first series that I'm going to be working on, which is going to be my very first 29er hardtail build. Later on, I'll also be going over motorcycle stuff, adventure gear, everyday carry stuff, so on and so forth. My poor son here is just dying to get in the frame. Here, let's see if we can. There we go. Is that a little bit better throwing?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so my assistant here is going to help me move. My assistant here is going to help me move this bike so I can bring down my other bike. Okay. So let's get this down. Okay, so go ahead and put that over there. You got that? You got the bars okay?
Just the fact of controlling a bike backwards.
Yeah, it takes a bit of practice. Okay. Can we, here, let me get in here a little bit. So this is my Volcanic. I'm just temporarily going to be running these Recon RockShox forks. The frame is designed by Eric, the engineer the frame builder over at Volcanic up in Washington, but the actual frame is manufactured out of a custom fabrication company out of China. I'm actually friends with the co-owner of the plant, the production facility, whatever you want to call it.
It's a little bit dusty.
So yeah, so I've intentionally waited to build this thing. I've actually been dying to build this thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in depth, in detail.
That looks clean.
Hey, there you go. I'm going to do an in-depth video series explaining the hows and the whys that you do a complete build. Something else I forgot to mention. Because of all my years of experience working on bicycles and things of that nature, over the years I've heard a lot of people talk smack about inexpensive bicycles. And the thing that has really been bothering me, especially for the last roughly 10 years, ever since I had a child, I started to realize that there's a place for these inexpensive bicycles. And one of my other goals is to explain to people and educate people on how to take these inexpensive $100 bicycles and build them on a world-class level. Let's be perfectly clear here. Your bike is never going to be the same as a Tour de France bike. They're just not the same animal. But that being said, there's no reason why we can't take these inexpensive bicycles and make them work to the maximum of their capacity and to make them something that's truly enjoyable to ride. Will you win major races on them? No, you will not. But there's something of value to be gained, and there's a potential life-changing event that can occur when you have a bicycle or a vehicle of some kind that is reliable and consistent and you can get something out of. And to me, I find that to be very important. And I want to educate the public about how to dispel some of these myths about being a bike snob. Because when you start to dig down into the weeds, you know, as my former boss used to say all the time, the devil's in the details. And once you start to understand these details, you start to realize that some of these beliefs we have about a lot of the things that are produced in the world are actually kind of a fallacy. And I like to be able to break through some of those. So that being said, we're going to stop this portion and cut to something else. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to cover really quick that I felt was really important, and I even wrote notes because I knew I'd forget, was that I also wanted to say a happy birthday and mahalo to my younger sister Mahealani. Is it Mahe? And also to my my awesome brother Numsi. Remember, Chuhos man, no worries, eh? And I also wanted to give a shout out to Seth's Bike Hacks. Could you have made that any harder to say, Seth? Then there's also Metal for Breakfast, because, you know, we need to talk about how metal shit is made, because that's important. People need to understand these things. It's very important. Also, Mr. Cody Wanner. I always want to say Wanner, because you know that's a German last name, right? You know it is. Also, so one of my goals with the whole video series is I want to have the production values of Peter Mckinnon. I want to be able to show people why building stuff and creating stuff is utterly epic. You know, when other people are busy watching television and stuff like that, I spend my time building stuff. Like I built a computer for him, and I build bicycles, and I sew, and a long time ago I used to do a lot of photography. So I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to utilize those previous life skills that I had and pull them all in together to be able to show people why this kind of stuff is so phenomenally epic. I also want to pull together story elements the way Casey Neistat does. Every cyclist has a story, not only in terms of, or motorcyclist for that matter, because again, the whole idea is supposed to be 2 wheels and tannerite. It's supposed to encompass the entire notion of the experience of riding a 2-wheeled thing. The other thing I also really wanted to explain was that the way I came up with 2 wheels and tannerite is a lot of times people would ask me, well, what kind of sports are you into? And see, I don't really like sports. I think sports are boring as hell. So I was always trying to explain to people that I'm not interested in anything unless it involves 2 wheels and tannerite. And even when I say tannerite, I don't literally mean tannerite in the sense where you go and shoot something, blow it up. I mean it in the sense of I like explosive new ideas. I like being able to explore new things. I like the idea of being able to take everything apart and being able to put it back together again and reinventing it for a manner that works for me. So in the future, what you can expect from me are creative ways of me showing off why building stuff and learning mechanical skills and learning new skills in general are really to your advantage, and they can be utilized in a myriad of different ways in different arenas of your life. So that is something you should be looking forward to.
But thanks for watching. Peace, pimps.